In pole position, championship leaders number 3, Andre Witherington and John Jackson, who, since the inception of the Formula 2 sidecars, have a very impressive career record to date so far. Second in 1985, second in 1986, third in 1987, and currently leading the 1988 Formula 2 sidecar championship. And believe you me, they are determined to win. Next to them, number 10, that's Mick Hamblin and Robert Smith. Mick Hamblin threw away, dare I say, the Isle of Man TT this year. He had a win in a second, but lost out marginally on time. So runner-up in the Isle of Man, a good all-round performer, Mick. We're expecting big things from him today. Very, very seasoned campaigner indeed. And number 1 there, Steady Eddie, I don't think so. Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson, very fast indeed in this morning's heats, and their 350 Yamaha very quick. That is the front row, 3 sidecars on the front, and a tremendous 10-lap race. The anticipation building here now at Mallory Park. The sun has kept going, fortunately. We've had no rain at all. The wind, however, has risen somewhat. That will affect the sidecars less than it would the solos. So the sidecars won't be too bothered about it. They'll be achieving speeds of something in the region of 110 miles an hour down the straight, 90 miles an hour round the long, sweeping right-hand turn of Gerrard's, hooking it up again to 90 up through Steb Straight. And the forecast is for this race that once they settle down over the first 2 or 3 laps, there will be a very, very steady race indeed. Any one of 10 of these riders have the potential to win, and the championship is very close, only something like 10 points separating the top 4. So an awful lot to go for. 10 laps, 1.37 miles a lap, push away, 350 Yamahas fire into line, and the sidecar entry is away. 30 riders go. In towards Gerrard's, and it is indeed Mick Hamblin taking the early lead. So Hamblin took the advantage. Eddie Wright in second place. Passengers tucked down to ease the wind resistance. Greater slipstreaming, the faster these things move through the air. But number 10 there, Mick Hamblin and Robert Smith from Lincoln. 4th in this championship last year. Towards the hairpin, so Hamblin leads. Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson in second. Around the outside, Andre Witherington there, who freely admits, and Wright is through, right through to take the lead. Eddie Wright, number 1. Very, very closely bunched, battling for positions as they come down to complete the first lap. Up to 110 miles an hour under the footbridge. And Hamblin through again, a wonderful battle. Once the riders settle down, we're looking for some sensible action. It really is a very, very close race. All these engines, 350cc 2-stroke, very evenly matched. A majority of, variety of chassis, should I say. Some are Windle, some are Shelbourne, but 2 out there built by one of the competitors who makes his own chassis. Now that's useful stuff, because a greater sense of achievement will be from him. And through the inside goes Eddie Wright again, 3 abreast on that. Wright takes the advantage still from Hamblin. Hamblin and Robert Smith, 45 years of age, Mick Hamblin. Eddie Wright from Tadcaster. Immaculately turned out Formula 2 sidecar outfit. Water-cooled, twin-cylinder, 350cc Hamblin going round the outside. Andre Witherington now down into 4th place. Number 1, Hamblin leads. Oh, and over! And a tremendous crash, taking 4 sidecar outfits out onto the grass. 1 upside down there. Everybody up on their feet, hopefully no one injured. 1 trying to re-push and get going again. Tremendous action, and back into the action. Away they go. Number 30 there, and a recap on that situation, having a look, just see what happened, and onto the grass. That's how it happened, over and over, into the path of the pursuing outfits. It was indeed number 39, Steve Noble and Mick Parker, who upended in such dramatic fashion to start that melee. battle between Mick Hamblin now and Eddie Wright. Not giving up very easily and sniffing away there in third place, Andre Witherington. This is the way we thought this race would go after the spectacular performance they put up in the heats. Hamblin sitting up, but Eddie Wright still in front. And that's how close they are. Tremendous action. Nothing between these sidecar outfits at all as they come out of the Lake S's up towards the hairpin. And number 16 there looking through the inside, Keith Goltris. Keith Goltris from Buckley. 5th in 1987, he won at Snetterton last week, and he was 3rd at Cadwell. So Goltris knows his way round the Formula 2 sidecar scene, and he's now into 3rd. You can see the way the passenger moves his weight across to the right-hand side to stop the machine tipping over. 3 inches off the tarmac. The slipstream, looking past Eddie Wright, but there's no way through. Wright keeping the power on, leaving the braking late. Stretch that gap just a fraction as they went into the bend. Witherington back into 3rd place. Goltris down into 5th. You can see just how close they are now. Witherington, a new 4th place man. Goltris is down to 5th. Back into 4th as I speak. Terrific Formula 2 sidecar action. This is exactly what the F2 boys need to put their formula on the map. They're desperate to get this class recognised by the FIM, which is the governing body of motorcycle sport for European competition. They feel that the Formula 2 sidecars are the poor relation in sidecar sport, and they very much want the recognition, and with this sort of racing they will get it. These 3 locked together now, wheel to wheel, halfway through the race. The leaders, number 1, Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson from Tadcaster. In 2nd place, number 10, Mick Hamblin and Robert Smith, 45 and 35 years of age, respectively. Hamblin, runner-up in the Isle of Man TT. A win and a 2nd was not enough to get him the overall win. That went to Dave Saville, but nevertheless, Mick Hamblin really putting the pressure on now on Eddie Wright. And right with them, Andre Witherington and John Jackson. On their Shell-borne chassis, 350 Yamaha, twin-cylinder, water-cooled, all these machines the same. Hamblin draws alongside there, but Wright closes the door. There's no way through around the outside of the Lake S's. Coming up to the hairpin, this is where we'll really see some action. Witherington looking for the outside line, trying to go around Hamblin. Hamblin says no, but Wright stays there. They're all very tight. There's no way they have to go follow a lead around there as they come up to the chicane. An absolutely thrilling race coming into Devil's Elbow, exiting now. Passengers, drivers tucking down behind the fairing, down the long straight, flat out. Absolutely fundamentally important to get the gearing right, get the tyre choice set up. Everyone on slicks, of course, because it's very dry here now at Mallory. And these 3 now having a battle all of their own. They left 4th and 5th man. Witherington now climbing all over the back of the other 2 outfits, working, synchronized beautifully. Bobbing and weaving, passengers ducking and diving around the hairpin, into bottom gear, out. Throwing it left, right, left. Sidecar wheel pawing the air as they exit the bend, into Devil's Elbow, down the start-finish straight. Hamblin in the slipstream of Wright, looking now at the inside line, and he's on the inside line, but Wright said there's no way through. Closed the door. Mick Hamblin couldn't do anything. A tremendous tussle, and right with Hamblin, Andre Witherington. And Witherington squeezed through, Hamblin breathed in. Andre Witherington squeezed through. John Jackson in the chair, up to second place. Currently leading the championship on 55 points, Witherington, now into second place. Stretched out the gap now from the fourth place man. The last lap flag in readiness as Eddie Wright comes onto the straight. One more lap to go. Witherington in second, Mick Hamlin in third. And unless something dramatic befalls Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson at this juncture in the proceedings, they look like coasting home to a beautifully, clinically controlled win. They rode the race from the front from the first lap, fought off some early challenges from Mick Hamlin, and they now have it sewn up. Out of the hairpin into the chicane. Andre Witherington now comfortably in second, but the leader coming down to Devil's Elbow for the last time. Eddie Wright, there's Witherington, there's Hamlin. To take the checkered flag, Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson, a beautifully controlled win. In second place, Witherington and John Jackson, and in third place, number 10, Mick Hamlin and Robert Smith from Lincoln. There you can see exactly what happened, and we'd like to say at this point that everyone stepped up from this accident and walked away. A spectacular looking crash, but everybody was okay, no injuries to sustain. Formula 2 outfits are very light, and we're happy to report that everything's under control. Confirmation of the result now, the winner there, Eddie Wright and Andy Wilson. In second place, it was Andre Witherington and John Jackson. In third place, Mick Hamlin and Smith. Fourth place, Brindley and Jones, and on his own chassis, Hayes, with Hefty in the chair, and Keith Galtris came home in sixth.
They always produce a tremendous race, don't they, the Sidecar boys? And the overall championship battle is still pretty close fought as well. Andre Witherington and John Jackson leading Mick Hamlin and Robert Smith by just 3 points.